Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this. It's a true thing that happened with me when I was a kid. Um so I remember my neighbors across the street where I used to live long ago. Their house caught on fire. It was at the time when my stepdad and my mom were dating. And anyways, when that happened, it was really scary that happened. Um, the wiring was really bad. That's what it was. They thought maybe they left the stove on or something like that, but no, they're like, no, that's not what it was. It was just bad wiring, and it just sparked and went into flames like really fast. It was a scary sight. But anyways, after that happened, my mom and my stepdad, before they were um, married, um, were both concerned about our safety and whatnot, And my mom's like told me and my brother, because we were sharing a room at the time. There have been times on and off where we had to when we were kids. But anyways, told us to leave our door open so that way we could escape easily when needed, because we know how it's not always easy to go out the window because the place was old and the windows get stuck at times. So, um, but yeah, she told us to do that, and that's what we did. But before that, I remember when I was at school and I was having fun playing around, and I fell and I got hurt. I hurt my knee pretty bad. But anyways, that night that my mom said to me and my brother, like, make sure you keep your door open, kind of thing, and stuff, so that way if something like that happens, you can get down and crawl out, you know, when something like that happens, so you can get out of there. Because she did the same thing, and Kirby and them upstairs, it was a house, but also kind of like an apartment, but only for two people only, kind of thing. So I always called it like a two-way house, because people who lived upstairs and we lived downstairs and stuff, because there's no other people but us. That's it. So I'm surprised that kind of house is still there after all these years. But anyways, so I remember after we prayed that night and went to bed, and I remember there was this really bright light, and I'm like, who turned on the kitchen light? It's so bright, or left the lamp on. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, wait a minute, that's no normal light. And I was looking, because I rubbed my eyes, and I'm like looking through the cracks of my door, because me and my brother, we had a bunk bed, so it's like you can, you know, because the door is not fully open, but open enough where you can also see through the crack on that side of the door. Um, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's that in our house? Is what I was thinking. And I noticed that he had a scar on his hands where he was nailed on the cross. It was Jesus. And I'm like, no way, this is really happening. He came in the room when I kind of flipped back around just to get comfortable, and he smiled at me, and I felt so safe and comfort to know that Jesus Christ Himself was in my room, which was not just my room, it was my brother's room, our room that night from a long time ago when we were kids. I was just like so surprised that that happened, but I was, you know, I felt so good and safe, when that happened. I never would imagine that to happen, but it did, and we were safe. And I remember I felt his hand, even though I was almost in a deep sleep. I felt his hand touched. Sorry, um, touched my knee that I hurt, and he healed it. Because I also scraped it up pretty bad, because my mom saw it, how bad it was and stuff, and had to help me bandage it up, well, clean it up and get a bandage. And he healed me. And when we had to get up in the morning to get ready for school, my mom asked how I was doing, and I said I'm good now. And she's like, "What?" She's like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she saw that I was healed. There was no more skin badly, ripped, because you know how your skin comes off when you fall down on concrete, and it looked just fine. And she's like, "Wow." And I'm like, and I just said to her, I'm like, "Jesus healed me." And she's like, "Yeah, he did." And she's like, "That's a miracle," And I didn't tell her that I saw him. All I said, "He just healed me last night," and he did. That that was very true. I, because I was still surprised, because I was just a kid when that happened. But yeah, I just wanted to mention how something like that has happened in my life, and I've never forgotten about that. And I was glad that that happened. But anyways, I am going to. I already did an interview before this. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to bed. So good night. Love you all. But remember, God and Jesus loves you more. And take care. Bye.